Alright, welcome to episode number 3 of Coffee Talk. Ed Kuhlman here, the Rebel Roaster, aka David Villa here, aka Coffee Upside Down. We're doing Sumatra today. We're doing it 3 ways. We've got 2 black versions, so we've got a light medium roast-ish of the same Sumatra, and then we're doing a little medium dark roast. So what we've done is we've already brewed off with the Melita filter,
Right.
the lighter version, which Ed just poured for us. And while that's happening, while we taste that, we are heating up the water for the darker version. So as we enjoy this first cup, cheers. Tell me about Sumatra, Ed. Tell me about the country, where it is, the style of processing, and why people love it as a dark roast, traditionally.
Okay. Well, Sumatra is an island in the Indonesian chain of islands, I guess, north of the equator slightly. This particular coffee comes from Lintong, and it's what's called a triple pick, where they do some sorting three times to get the defects out. It is what is called wet hulling, and wet hulling is a process where the coffee is hulled out of its parchment prior to it being dried, which is more traditional with Central and South American and some of the other countries that process coffees. And so the coffee is hulled wet instead of dry. So that's why they call it wet hulling, which creates a different phenomenon in cup characteristics, obviously.
Creates some really good coffees,
Yes.
and some really funky coffees.
Yeah, it's a
too.
very
unique
and
and weird.
an uneven way of processing coffee. I mean, everything's a little bit different.
Do we know why Sumatra does that particularly? Is it
I don't
because
know.
of their
I
economy?
think it may be. It's just the way
they
it's
don't
just,
have designated washing stations for the most part.
For the
There's
most
a couple regions that do. We
The-
talked about the Gale Mountain region.
mantling coffees are going to be processed a little bit. They still do a wet hulling, but it's a little more, I think, a little more controlled,
Cool.
more consistent.
So in this cup, man, it's got a really creamy body. It's heavy.
Traditionally low acid coffee, so they
Low
don't
acid.
have a lot of tang or twang or tartness in them.
Or fruitiness.
Or
yeah.
fruitiness. No, they can have a little, but this one is actually fairly bright for a Sumatra.
Yum. It's really tasty. It would go well with cream,
It would go well.
which we've got
Which
on
we
deck
do.
for the darker roast. So
Is that
we're
right?
hot here for the dark roast. We're gonna do this quick for you guys so that we are potent with our coffee
Mhm.
knowledge and
Well, the
sipping.
fun thing about coffee is that you can roast it different ways and get different flavors out of the coffee. No one roast has to suit a coffee. Now we do play around as roasters. Do you think you have enough in there?
Yeah, so we've got the darker roast here. This is a little Melita filter, which you can pick up for $2-3. It's a single cup type of pour over method. So this is not a full immersion method like we did last week on the French press.
Sniff it.
Sniff it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really earthy
Yeah.
and like woody, like wet wood,
Uh,
and funky
Which,
in a good way.
which you picked up a little bit of that in the lighter roast, but it's more predominant in the darker roast. And that's a different pathway. You know, basically the arc that I use for the medium light is just kind of an arc like this, whereas in the dark I took it up like this, kind of cruise this way, and then
You're
shot
talking
up.
about in your roasting.
Yeah, in the roasting profile.
And so
it's
this
the
one is right past second crack.
No, right before.
Right before.
First couple of snaps into second crack. Traditionally, most of the Sumatras that I have had in the past have had go well into second crack. And it's a coffee, because of its character, can handle darker roasts, and it's already a very rustic, chocolatey, pipe tobacco, leather, wood, earth, all those things.
Barnyard floor.
Yeah, just about. I mean,
Number 2 pencil. Number 3 pencil even.
I don't know, but either way,
So that's pleasure.
mossy, a little bit mossy. But yeah, if you want to get into home brewing and you don't want to spend a ton of money on an expensive brewing system yet, go get a Melita for a couple of bucks. Number 2 filters, And I mean, you can basically brew high-end coffee for about 70 cents. Is that what we figured?
Per cup.
Per cup
So
at home.
if you're concerned with paying for whole bean coffee, if you buy anywhere from 12 to 15 bucks, you're looking at 70 cents to 90 cents a cup, a 12-ounce cup, which is a big cup. That's actually more than the caffeine punch of a double ounce of espresso.
Yeah, and you'll get about 23 cups out of a pound of coffee. A bag of coffee, if it's a 12 ounce, a little bit less, but roughly, that's a good bit of.
So mathing it pretty hard, we did. We figured if you were to buy a cup of coffee every single day, the equivalent of a pound of homebrew coffee would cost you close to $80-$90 rather than 20 bucks or 15 bucks. If you're shipping, it'll be a little bit more. So it's very economical if you're willing to put in a little bit of work, not much, to brew your own home batch. So we've got this darker roast brewing. We're going to brew it in this vintage. When's this from? The 40s?
This is late 40s, yeah. Fire King D-handled jadeite cup.
D-handle. There's a handle on there.
It's a D-handle. It's called a D-handle.
Oh, right. D, not D-E.
Not
D as in the
D-handle,
letter.
but
Cool.
a D-handle because it.
This is heating up.
Yes.
I'm going to pour the hot water.
The other one that we're drinking out of is a Federal.
This one.
Yeah. White milk class.
Is that
from
not
the
to cheers again?
No, you can. If you
All
want
right.
to keep cheering, you can cheers off as you like.
It's Christmas in January. I'm cheering everything.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
I don't get a hat yet.
You've
but
got to put on your thinking cap. You
but
got
I
enough
get
brains for the both of us. Okay, so this is finishing off. How much are we getting out of this single brew? How many ounces for our home brewers? This is a couple cups. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually do. That's 400 grams, which is what are we sitting on about about 13 ounces of.
13 ounces.
Close
so
to 13.
6.5 ounces. This is our math session episode, guys.
So you can do, and that's 25 grams of coffee.
Cool.
25 grams of coffee. You're
Ground
getting
up.
about, you're getting about, 13 ounces.
Delicious.
Oh, it is
Delicious
delicious.
math. All right, so this is finishing
So
up.
this is different. Like I said, in the specialty realm, Sumatra's doesn't have the acidity, the clarity that a lot of people like in specialty coffees. They're great for blenders. They're great for espresso as a component, or by themselves, depending on the roast and how decent the coffee cups out,
Yeah.
or how well it's taken care of.
So it is difficult to find Sumatra that is not wet hulled. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
However, you can get
you
all sorts of
can.
quality in that spectrum,
Yeah,
right?
you can, but that's the traditional method. They're working on doing a little bit better job, to try to change that and bring that quality up. But
Yummy.
yeah,
All right, so in a darker roast, traditionally remind us what we get. We get usually a heavier mouthfeel,
Right.
creamier.
what you do is you're bringing up and again, there's origin characteristics that we've brought out in this coffee that isn't influenced by the roast. And as we get into the darker roast, we're diminishing the origin characteristics to a degree and bringing out a roast profile and roasty.
Those toasty,
In part,
chocolatey, nutty that bond with the
Right.
origin characteristics to make it new. Yeah.
But with Sumatras, it's interesting because they don't change a whole lot. As you roast darker with them, the little bit of acidity that is there is muted. However, it really brings up the body. The body gets super thick, which then, if you like your coffee with a cream or something like that.
Triple cheers. Good luck.
Yes.
So we're going to pour a little bit of cream after we sip this. We've got our organic whipping cream. If you guys don't drink milk, that's fine. Coconut milk, almond milk, oat milk, hemp milk, elk milk, goat milk, milk.
Or
Whatever
no-
milk with a Y or an I.
Or no milk.
Or no milk.
You don't have to have milk.
Forgo the milk.
But if you
But-
like milk, then milk is fine.
So I've
Are
got
we
my
gonna add that?
pre-measured after a couple sips. I'm just
Yeah.
cleaning it up.
Can we sip the milk and then talk about the milk?
You can. Yeah, that's up to you. If you want to go rogue,
This
you're
is
a
now
rebel.
milk talk, not
Milk talk.
Milk talk
With a Y.
With a Y.
Mm-hmm. All the alt milks are no longer going to be supposedly they're not going to be regulated. They're going to be regulated to not have the I as in milk because they're not true milk. They're MYLK. So we go.
Things that you gotta know these days.
Gotta know. So this one's darker, smokier.
Mm-hmm. I think it's smoother. It adds a level of smoothness.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one still has a little bit of that acidic bite that's still there.
Sure. And that's why in the darker roast, adding cream and sugar really kicks it up a notch. If you enjoy that.
The fun thing about cream is it changes the mouthfeel. That's the big thing for me. It changes the mouth. It does sweeten it. I'm not a big fan of that much sweetener in my coffee. Some people like to really sweeten it up, so they'll add cream and sugar, and that's fine. I mean, drink your coffee.
And the sugar in the milk.
That's what. Yeah, the lactose.
The lactose is
form,
a sugar,
yes.
so it bonds with the coffee to make a creamy sweet beverage.
Which I still don't understand. And if there's any modern shops out there watching this, is why is it okay to put, oh, look, you heard that? Why is it okay to make a cap or cortado, which is basically sweetening the coffee, but in a pour over you don't allow your customers to put cream or sugar in that? In some shops.
Do we have an answer for that?
That's what I'm asking, if anybody can tell me that. I don't understand.
That's interesting, yeah.
Because, I mean, you're still sweetening it. I mean,
espresso versus brew, both
right.
black,
right,
both pure,
right,
but you add steamed milk to make a cortado, a cappuccino, a latte, or a macchiato.
Because people like that combination of
Sure.
flavors. So why can't they have that same combination
in their
brewed
coffee.
shot?
I don't know.
So.
They can. We can. We're doing it. Cheers.
Oh wow.
That's like dessert.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've had a creamy cup of coffee. I mean, I have lattes and cappuccinos, but
right.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I'm not much of a milk fan when it comes to my coffees, espressos or whatever. But yeah, I could drink this.
Yeah,
and
you
I am,
are.
and I'm drinking
You are
it.
drinking it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to make this quick. So anything else we want to talk about Sumatra? We're gonna do a little bit different spiel next week with a new origin. We just wanted to talk about cream in coffee, the different roasts of Sumatra, the wet hulling process,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. And some math and economics.
Yeah.
Simple, fun, accessible, and informative.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. I mean,
right.
I can't. You do all the talking. I just agree, nod my head.
No, you give the information.
Nobody
and
can
I shoot
see
it down.
his hand in my back. I'm the puppet, and
You're the puppet.
I'm the puppet.
Cheers to
You're-
being the puppet. I'm not the puppet.
Did you see the little oil that's
Yeah,
on top
that's
of it?
delicious.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I still like it black.
Yeah, the
But
first one.
Yeah, I would take the lighter one. Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
But most
I like
people
them all.
that like Sumatra don't like this. They
Right.
like the darker.
They want
That's
it.
what they,
They
want.
want it darker
Yeah,
and
that's
usually
what
with
they
cream.
want.
All right, guys. Cheers. That's it.
We're out.
We're making it short and sweet.
Yeah.
More strong and savory. Peace.
Peace.